a certain percentage of this volume of reports made by credible observers of relatively incredible things.
But in around 5% of cases, no explanation could be found.
There's no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead. It's yellow. I saw a yellow tinge in it, too.
But why do you think it's extraterrestrials, really, what I'm asking you?
I didn't say it was extraterrestrial.
It's brighter than it has been.
They're not necessarily saying that this is a craft from another galaxy.
Sure. Looking directly overhead, one can see an opening in the trees, plus some partially broken pine branches on the ground underneath.
And what that 5% is it's not sightings for which there is enough evidence that we can eliminate all options for explaining it.
These are very hard to dismiss, the handful of sightings.
Right on this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flashlight there.
And the Air Force will try to explain them away with completely ridiculous explanations.
Right on this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch.
I'm going to tell you something, buddy. I don't know what the hell it is.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just
but you had no question that you saw it?
No question whatsoever. It was there. I saw it. It doesn't matter to me if anyone believes me or not. I know what I saw. And Bill, too. I mean, it was frightful.
Those people certainly have convinced me that something very real is going on.
In between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flashlight there, sir. There.
The question arises, what are these UFOs, the ones that pass the test of not being put aside as fireballs and planets? So what could they be? And that, of course, is the ultimately important question.
Unidentified flying objects are most accurately defined by what they are not. Dr. J. Allen Hynek defines a UFO report as a statement by a person or persons judged responsible and psychologically normal by commonly accepted standards, describing a personal visual or instrumentally aided observation of an object or light in the sky or on the ground that does not specify any known physical event, object or process, or any psychological event or process. Dr. Richard Haynes, of the National Aviation Reporting Center on Anomalous Phenomena, defines an unidentified aerial phenomenon as the visual stimulus that provokes a sighting report of an object or light seen in the sky, the appearance and/or flight dynamics of which do not suggest a logical conventional flying object, and which remained unidentified after close scrutiny of all available evidence by persons who are technically capable of making both a full technical identification as well as a common sense explanation, if one is possible. In 1955, researchers at the Battelle Memorial Institute conducted an analysis of UFO reports at the request of the United States Air Force. About 21% of reports analyzed were categorized as unknown sightings wherein the object described could not be fitted to the pattern of any known object or phenomenon. UFOs are characterized primarily by the fact that they cannot be identified. They are not airplanes, or helicopters, or meteors, or the planet Venus, or Chinese lanterns, or weather balloons. What they, in fact, are, we do not know. However, although UFOs cannot be identified, they can be described and classified according to rather well-defined patterns of appearance and behavior. Patterns which reoccur consistently in reports all over the world.
You have to look at an accumulation of cases and look for patterns, and then that's how the phenomenon reveals itself.
Aside from recurrent patterns of shape, size, surface texture, and luminosity, several characteristics of UFO behavior occur, time and again, in reports from sincere and seemingly reliable witnesses from every continent on Earth. These include hovering, the ability to accelerate and decelerate extremely rapidly. And the ability to perform highly angular turns and other unconventional maneuvers. Peculiar behaviors, such as a falling leaf or pendulum motion during vertical descent, has been independently reported many times by UFO witnesses in widely separated parts of the world.
Obviously, these people are not lying. Obviously, they've seen something extremely unusual.
Looked like a fallen star, and when it got to the top of the trees, it stopped, and a blue and a white light come on it.
And then the red light was sort of casting a glow over the whole thing, so it looked like a round disc.
I looked up, and right over my head, virtually. And it wasn't far off, it was right over my head, and very still, there was a rim of lights in the shape of a triangle.
I looked at it, and I thought I was seeing things. I thought I was seeing things. I thought I was seeing things.
In 1968, Dr. James E. MacDonald, senior physicist at the Institute of Atmospheric Physics and professor in the Department of Meteorology at the University of Arizona, told members of the United States House Committee on Science and Astronautics, quote, "I have been studying now for about 2 years, on a rather intensive basis, the UFO problem. I have interviewed several hundred witnesses in selected cases, and I am astonished at what I have found. I had no idea that the actual UFO situation is anything like what it really appears to be." Regarding UFO witnesses, Dr. MacDonald told the committee, "I want to emphasize, as one of the very important misconceptions that has been fostered, that instead of dealing with witnesses who are primarily looking for notoriety, who want to tell a good story, who are all out to gain attention, it is generally quite the opposite. People are reluctant to report what they are seeing. We are not dealing with publicity seekers." General Semford, of the Air Force, put it well 16 years ago. General Semford, then Director of Intelligence, said, and I would concur 100%, credible observers are observing relatively incredible objects. I emphasize that my experience is that, again and again, you find people who were not really interested in UFOs until they saw one themselves. Then, they suddenly became very, very concerned, as one more member of the public who has become a UFO witness. And, in this body of citizens, there are some very distressed persons who wish that the scientific community, or the government, were doing something about this problem.